You know, she memorizes that shit. That's really difficult to do.
Yeah, there's harder things. Such as the cover.
Like working in a coal mine. Oh, okay. Hugh Behm-Steinberg is our next reader. And I have a lot to tell you about him. I met him Monday, in person the first time. And what I knew about Hugh was that he had really interesting glasses. He's an exception. Basically, I view publishing a lot like dating. Publishing someone in a magazine is like going on a date. You're dealing with them for a week. If they're a total jackass, you will get through it. And then you don't have to deal with them anymore. And it happens sometimes. You know, you do all this work, you make this magazine, you don't get paid. You know, you're sacrificing your own time so these jackasses can get their work read. And most people are very appreciative about it. And then there's always this one person who ruins it. That's the only person you... I mean, all the dates you have, you just think about the one jackass who's just a jackass. You know, you're just like, oh. And that's,
why are you looking at me?
No. I'm making eye contact with the room. But so doing a book is like marriage. Because you're basically working a year before the book to make it, to basically create this book. You know, you're editing it, you're sending galleys, you know, you're going back and forth, you're dealing with cover design, layout. And then there's at least a year afterwards, sometimes a lot longer, you're dealing with promotion, and you know, you have to constantly, you know, I can get you a reading here, or you're not selling books, what's wrong with you? I mean, it's this long-term investment. And so, you know, I make it a point to really screen people pretty well before I do a book with them, because, I mean, yes, it's a lot of money, but it's really a lot of time. I mean, in the time, as a busy mom, that little kid around was mine. You know, I mean, I'm trading time and I'm doing all this so I can do a book. And if someone's really difficult and they're like a maniac, it's really hard. So, I mean, because I had published Hugh, you know, for 1 week in No Tell. He was one of the first slush pile finds. I hadn't met him. I didn't get a vibe. I mean, I got a nice email vibe from him. I mean,
it's like marrying your one-night stand.
That's what I did with Hugh. Hugh is my one-night stand, and it worked out. I have this fabulous, beautiful baby that I'm more like the daddy. The art, and as a publisher, that's more like a dad role. As the author, that's the mom role. And so I'm really the daddy. I paid the bills. I don't know, but really Hugh did all the work. I was there and I was like, push, Hugh, push! And
he was so confused.
he was very confused. But we had this beautiful book, Shy Green Fields, and it was, like I said, it was a little, I mean, I knew I loved his work. I knew I loved the book. He seemed okay, and he was okay. You know, but like I said, I really just met Hugh, and his wife Mary is sitting there, and as I'm talking about, Hugh is my one-night poetry book stand. That's what his hobby is. I really did just meet him Monday. But so, I mean, yeah, that was really a nice thing, because, you know, that was a big deal for me. And he didn't let me down, and I may do it again, perhaps. Perhaps I will publish a book by somebody who I don't know personally and haven't totally, you know, checked out their eyes and, you know, are they crazy?
You maintain faith in the universe.
Yeah, so, I mean, Hugh,
Flesh them out.
you're the hope of the press. You're the... And so I wish I had a story about one time when we were at AWP or something. I don't have that story. And not yet. And Hugh took off his shirt at burlesque, and he has a tattoo of a what? Olive.
No, letter out.
The first letter in the
Oh, a Jewish tattoo.
I should get a martini glass.
We have a translation below it.
So I know what Hugh looks like top naked. What else do I know about Hugh? He came all the way from Berkeley. He teaches at California College of the Arts. I already mentioned the wife. You have a really great chapbook that the title is
Called Sorcery.
Sorcery. That do you have copies with you?
Yes, I do.
It's a great chapbook that he and Mary did together. I read it on the train coming back from New York last week. It's great. And
let's see, I edit a journal called 1111.
it is a journal called 1111. And you are a, what, a Capricorn, a Gemini?
I'm an Aries.
An Aries. I never would have published an Aries. I'm so I'm just kidding.
Discretion is so helpful sometimes.
Let's welcome you for coming all the way across the country.
Thank you. And I just want to say just how immensely grateful and glad I am, Red, for having the faith and confidence and courage and whatever to, you know, go all the way with me.
On the first date, no less.
On the first date, and publish my book. And I'll do my best not to.
Don't suck.
Well, unless you ask me to. But.
Good job.
All right, that's okay. So a little bit about the book. The book is a series of 100 7-line poems. I started writing them after a period of writer's block. I wanted to write really simply, really clearly, as much as I could. And I wrote them at the time in which I had met my wife. And so they're very much about bodies and intimacy and gardens and all sorts of good stuff like that. Some of the poems I'm going to read have some very specific information about diabetes. My wife is a diabetic, and she has a little device called an insulin pump that attaches to her body and periodically goes buzz in the middle of the night. So that might show up in one of the poems, along with like references to sugar and stuff like that. So here goes. None of the poems have titles, but there's an index in the back. And I got t-shirts too, so if you like swag.
All right.
I got swag. The choreography is deliberate, so we know where to put our feet. What then with these interceptions? Your body is so literal, even unexpected, low and out, so sleepiness and sugar. Holy work, rooted in the parallels, rooted in the directions, faithfully showing me how. In what city do you love your work, that you love me too? Here, this heart. Great. As I'm not alone, think about what's possible, not imaginary, but picturing the uncountable kicks of you. Danced milk blue. The test results declare we are all magnetic, that we each have our own humming sound, a radio frequency. I am turning into you, tuning into you. Try to make a body into a city. Try to explain how it might glow in the dark. Say the door opened out into years. And in this city, you can get the life you want, night after night, beside the VCR glow. You can dream of trapeze artists and your own private labyrinths. Lead me there. Lead me through. About your body, the way your stomach curves into itself, the bruises and scar tissue that rolls when I press it. With my hand, I skate my way up your ribcage, around the site, the cannula line to your breast, your nipple between my thumb and ring finger. How much is it? How much is needing you, your body and you? Being here. It's okay to be here. The grit that life has in it. It's mechanical, but I'm used to it. I feel the buzz inside you, your body and laying beside it. That enoughness. Someone could point me, someone could point you in the right direction. The scale is so much. Feels.